Senate in history of the United States has been amazingly and extraordinarily productive. 20 months into the Democratic majority, I just want to take a moment to highlight the many, many accomplishments we have secured in this chamber under Democratic leadership. It's the most in recent memory. The American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the CHIPS and Science Act, the Gun Safety Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, an omnibus package, and many other bills in between. Senate Democrats have worked hard every step of the way to improve the lives of American people, to help those in the middle class stay there, to help those struggling to get into the middle class a little easier to get there. And we will continue to do our work for the American people this week by passing a CR to keep the government open.
Benefits have lost around 40% of their buying power. One of the biggest proposals in the works is an increase in benefits. For people who are ages 80 and older, not only will this help older adults maintain buying power, but it will also provide a boost for retirees who are running low on savings. And while nothing is set in stone, this plan does propose increasing benefits by around 5%. And it's one of Washington's most divisive proposals, as only 53% of Americans, 53% of Republicans are in favor of voting for it. So if the Republicans decide to block this stimulus check, that means we won't be getting any stimulus payment if President Biden can't get this past the Republicans. But hopefully everybody he can, because President Biden can definitely send out stimulus checks if he's done it before. Now, the nearly 1.9 million borrowers who paid off their loans during the pause and those who refinanced their student loans during the pause into private loans do not qualify for the automatic stimulus check. Yes, people are getting automatic stimulus checks because in August, Biden extended the pause on repayment, interest, and collections, which began back in March 2020. And according to the Office of Federal Student Aid, about 9 million federal student loan borrowers have made at least one check and one payment to April 20 to March 2022 of this year. So the application for loan forgiveness will become available in October, next month. Borrowers are expected to advise and apply before November 15th in order to receive a check before the end of the year. And we all know how important it is for people to receive the stimulus check, so hopefully President Biden can do something about this and help out the American people. Guys, it is here. President Biden can finally do something for the American people that's valuable, and that's sending out stimulus checks before the end of the year. A stimulus check of $2,000 or even $1,400 has to be approved by December of 2022 if President Biden has any hope of making the American people happy. Now everybody, the whole goal of this channel is to provide you with the most up-to-date, reliable stimulus check information from anything on stimulus aid, relief assistance, low-income benefits, Social Security benefits, and as well as stimulus check news. I'll always do my very best to provide you guys with the most up-to-date, reliable, and accurate stimulus check information. This video has taken
healthcare system. Crazy is when a patient walks into a doctor's office, gets a diagnosis, doctor writes out a prescription, and the patient cannot afford to fill that prescription, becomes sicker, ends up in the emergency room or the hospital, a greater expense to the system. My friends, that is called crazy.
It is official, everybody. There is a new type of stimulus check that has been launched recently, and there are billions of dollars in stimulus relief funds available just for you. So in this video, I'll be discussing the most important news on how to claim your stimulus check information. A ton of updates are going on, and I want you to know this. Monthly checks for $1,000 are now being issued as part of a further economic relief to address the crisis continuing to be faced by many people. The monthly checks from last year happened for a year and a half in New York State through the Creative Rebuild New York program. In Los Angeles, California, the same amount will be distributed for 3 years through the BREATHE program. For the stimulus relief program in Los Angeles, the call for applications to the program began on March 31st. People over the age of 18 who have been financially hit by the crisis are residents of LA's middle-class neighborhoods and are not enrolled in other universal basic income programs can apply, as long as their income does not exceed the set income threshold. And this is really huge for people that live in Los Angeles. I know right now it can be a very difficult time for many of you guys. Now, not only in Los Angeles and New York, people are receiving stimulus checks, but also in the city of Chicago. There are other relief programs that are being established by state and local governments. For example, the Chicago mayor, alongside city leaders, announced this week that prepaid gas cards will be made available to qualifying Chicagoans amid rising gas prices. In a press conference, the mayor said that the Chicago Moves program will dedicate about $12.5 million to help Chicago residents with transportation options as they continue to deal with inflation. Once the program is passed by the city council, about 150,000 Chicago households will receive assistance. And I definitely support this bill, and I definitely think it's a great idea that some states, some cities, are giving their residents stimulus checks. Do you think it's a good idea, folks? Tell me in the comments down below. So far, the IRS has actually issued more than 169 million payments in the third round of stimulus aid. Now, with the $1,400 stimulus checks reaching most people, so far the federal response to the economic crisis caused by the crisis has paid out $3,200 to eligible adults, $1,200 under the CARES Act in March 2020, and $600 in December relief measure. But many advocates and lawmakers are pushing for a fourth round of stimulus aid. That would effectively send recurring payments until the crisis ends. Many lawmakers have actually picked up the idea of recurring stimulus checks, and that is definitely a great idea. 21 senators, all Democrats, wrote a letter to President Biden in support of recurring checks, pointing out that the $1,400 payments that were redistributed by the IRS only provided temporary relief. And the group of lawmakers included a broad range of Democrats, from moderates to progressives. The lawmakers did not specify, though, how large and frequent the payment should be. In a separate Democratic effort led by Representative Omar of Minnesota, with more than 50 House members, also pushed for recurring payments, for the duration of the crisis at least. In a tweet, Representative Omar specified that the Biden administration should approve $2,000 checks until the crisis ends. Plus, more than 150 economists have said that stimulus checks should be approved for everybody. And if you guys agree, tell me in the comments down below if you think it should be done.
Senator from Vermont.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me begin by congratulating the workers at Amazon in Staten Island, New York, who for the very first time were able to win a union organizing campaign against that giant corporation, which is owned by Jeff Bezos, the second wealthiest person in America. Weeks and months.
Around 11.7 million people have already been settled. However, there is still a long way to go for everyone to receive their benefit. And now inflation is hurting some communities hard as the crisis evolves, and despite more than 169 million payments have been sent out, there is a continued push for a targeted fourth stimulus check. The Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan advocacy group, actually started a pressure campaign to push Congress to send those on Social Security additional stimulus money. In a letter to leaders of Congress, the chairman actually called for one-off $1,400 stimulus checks. Now, such a measure could actually help defray the costs associated for some seniors from the 2022 cost of living adjustment, which was the highest in over 40 years, pushing them into even higher tax brackets. This is an all-in reaction to the high levels of inflation that the American economy is dealing with. Prices across the country are reaching record highs, and for those on a fixed income like Social Security, for instance, they're seeing rapid decreases in their purchasing power. Now, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has also reported that since October 2020, consumers are paying on average 6.2% more on their stuff, on their necessities. So, President Biden definitely has to do something about this and send out more stimulus checks as soon as possible. It's the thing that he must do, everybody. Tell me in the comments down below if you guys agree. Hello, everybody. I hope all of you guys are having a great day. Now, this is your fourth stimulus check update. In today's video, I'll be answering all of your questions surrounding the fourth stimulus check, your unemployment benefits, as well as your Social Security benefits. But first, be sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. On this channel, I always do my best in providing you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. So be sure to subscribe, everybody. Now, the text of the bipartisan infrastructure package, which has officially been named the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, has yet to be released. Folks, this bill might include a fourth stimulus check and an increase in your Social Security benefits. So we're hoping that Congress does approve this bill. But with debate over the proposal beginning in the Senate, details over what Democrats and Republicans agreed to are trickling out. The debate officially started in the Senate after a procedural vote took place on July 28th. President Biden wrote in a Twitter post, "We have reached a historic deal on infrastructure, folks. The bipartisan infrastructure deal is the largest infrastructure bill in a century. It will grow the economy, create good-paying jobs, and set America on a path to win the future." So what do you think about President Biden, everybody? Is he doing all that it takes to send out the fourth stimulus check?
And let me thank our witness for your work. The infrastructure bill is a once in a lifetime opportunity for this country. So your role is critically important to make sure we do it right. We were very clear that environmental justice is one of our goals in regards to how we rebuild our infrastructure in America. I was proud that included in this bill was the removal of lead from our water pipe systems, that we have reconnecting communities that have been divided by highways that were destructive to the residential communities. And the list goes on and on. We have resiliency into this, etc. My own state of Maryland has a Maryland Environmental Justice Screening Tool. You have the White House Climate and Environmental Screening Tool that's available. Let me ask you how you intend to implement the use of these tools with the opportunities that we have with the infrastructure bill to make sure that we are sensitive to the community's needs, that we recognize that the communities that have been hit the hardest as a result of climate change have been low-income